Yes, welcome. Welcome to the Lord Petty Podcast. Appreciate you tuning in. Welcome to the only podcast in the world where we love everybody. We hate on everything. We wish everybody the best. Appreciate you tuning in. If this is your first episode, thank you for tuning in. If you're returning, please rate and subscribe. Or if it's your first time, please rate and subscribe. It doesn't even matter. You can do either or. You can either or to help your boy out. I'm very happy to be here. I hope you're happy to be here. I hope your life is treating you well. And I hope you're doing the things that's going to progress you to the next level, you know? Because if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, all these things, they are real, all right? But a lot of these therapists, they're ripping people off because all you got to do is have some sort of purpose in your life, and a lot of that sadness goes away. Why can I talk about that? Because I've experienced it. You know what I'm saying? I've told you before, I've been very transparent on this podcast about I have depressive chemical imbalances. But you know, I keep them in check. I keep it moving, dude. I keeps it moving. And I have some big news to announce, dude. Do I want to announce the whole thing? Let me think about this. Nah, fuck it, dude. Your boy is, I got engaged. Just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. I would never do such a thing. I would never do that. I'm just kidding, dude. But no, it's way more serious than that, to be honest with you. I will do that eventually, but I have a son on the way. And it's weird. It's a very weird feeling. I'm just fucking with you again, dude. Oh my God, and he can act. Did you see how emotionally involved you were right there? Okay, but actually, here's the thing. I am relocating because I got a new opportunity to do something, and even though I don't ever want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life, I have a really good opportunity for a new gig. So I'm going to have to relocate. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to relocate, but I'm going to be relocating. And I'm excited for the relocation because Austin's just never quite done it for me. It was really fun coming down here in the midst of COVID when everything was open and like going to the comedy clubs and, you know, meeting Danny Brown and shit. But Austin just never quite, it didn't, like I said, I'm a Seattle boy at heart. I'm not going back to Seattle. I'm going deeper into the heart of Texas. But a man's got to make some muns. And the muns is going to fund my shit. And I've never made money like this before. And I applied for a job that I did not think I was qualified for. And I got it. I applied for the entry-level position, and then I used all the shit that I tell you guys to do, and I got the position. And now I'm rich as fuck. Well, not yet, but we'll see. And, not we'll see. Well, I got to start. But, and so now, just keep pushing, guys. Just always keep pushing, bro. I don't like pussies. That's my problem with some people in my generation, a lot of people, the Gen Z generation. I am a full-on ageist. I don't like boomers because they don't get it. They don't get what we're up against. And I don't like Gen Z because they aren't prepared for what we're up against. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like pussies. That's why I think it's kind of crazy. You know, Andrew Tate said some really bad things about women and shit like that, but he also said some really good things for men. And so I understand why they nuked him, because when I saw that video of him, hitting that woman, even though she was into it, it made me really uncomfortable. But I don't think you should nuke anybody. I feel like wiping people off of social media sites is no different than the Nazis doing Kristallnacht and burning books. But you shouldn't silence anybody. If somebody has a really terrible idea, we'll just all shit on it collectively and shoot it into the gulag. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like pussies. I don't know how to deal with their just deal with it, dude. Deal with it, overcome it, and keep pushing, man. And I say this lovingly. I know It's crazy you can just go to Canada now and do like assisted suicide. But I've this really, if you read my book, I talk a lot about suicide because how much it's affected me because I've had friends that have killed themselves. And I just don't know, but I'm not saying like killing yourself is the most counterproductive thing ever because like imagine actually killing yourself. That takes more balls than anything. So you have to be at such an incredibly low point in your life to consider that and actually go through with it. So don't do that, dude. Just keep pushing, dude. I saw something the other day, though, like speaking of pussies. I'm just kidding. But as you all know, like, and I highly, highly doubt, I highly doubt Donald Trump Jr. listens to this. But as you all know, Donald Trump Jr. and I are homies. We talk on the internet. But he posted something the other day, and it was this meme. It said, the generation of getting your ass kicked sure worked better than the timeout generation. And as much as I agree with that, even though, I never really got my ass kicked by my parents because I always loved and adored my parents. If they told me to do something, I would do it. There were a few times. I remember one time, my dad was at work, and there's nothing, like Chris Rock said, there's nothing scarier than that your mom could say than I'm going to tell your daddy when he comes home. And I remember one time, I was just being a smart ass, just being a piece of shit while my dad was at work. My mom was like, oh, I'm going to tell your dad, and he's going to spank you. And then my dad came home from work, and then, he's wearing like his, he got promoted. Like, I'm so proud of my dad, dude. He started off as a aerospace mechanic, worked his way up through management, and I'm just very fucking proud of my father, man. I'm so fortunate to have a guy like that in my life. That just taught me a lot. And I feel bad, I feel bad for a lot of men that didn't have that father figure in their life. But I remember one time my dad came home after I was just being a little shit around my mom, and my mom said, oh, I'm going to tell your daddy. And then my dad came home, and then he was supposed to spank me, right? Because my mom didn't. I love my mom too. I'm not saying anything bad about my mom, because my mom didn't want to be the bad guy. And then I remember my dad. He took me in the room. And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go kick his ass or whatever." And he took me in the room. He made me sit down in the bed, and he made me tell him what happened. And I was like 7, right? I was like at spanking age. I was like 7. And I was just bawling. I don't remember exactly what I think. I was just talking back, and my mom's German. And so in Germany, like, you fucking smack kids, dude. Like, it's not, at least at the time, you know what I mean? I remember I even got smacked by my teachers. Like, when I grew up in when I went to Germany and I was in elementary school, I remember like a teacher straight up hit me like in the fucking face with a ruler one time. And that was just completely normal. But so I remember my dad sat me down and he was just like, I don't want to do this. He's like, do you think I enjoy? And I'm 7. I'm sitting there like my little brain, my little Ninja Turtle brain is trying to wrap my head around what he's saying. And I understood, though, because I understood like the emotional aspect of it. He sat me down. He's like, you think I want to come home after a long day of work and have to do this? No, I want to come home and play with you. You think I want to come home and deal with you being a brat? Will you please stop being a brat? And I was like, yeah, yes, Dad, yes. And he told me, okay, well, if your mom asked, I spanked you, but I don't want to spank you because I don't want you to be scared of me. And I'm going to start crying if I start talking about this, dude. And then he said, I'm not going to spank you because I don't want to spank you, but don't ever put me in this position ever again. And I will never forget that. And I'm sure I put myself in that position more times than not, but, that's how you parent little boys. You know what I'm saying? You don't just fucking beat the shit out of them. And so DTJ posted this thing on his Instagram, and he was like, "Oh, I think I already said what it said, but it said, oh, the generation that got their ass kicked is better than the timeout generation." And it's like, who the fuck was beating your ass, Donald Trump Jr.? You had gold toilets, okay? Who the fuck was beating your ass? Now you're encouraging millions and the millions. That's what The Rock reference, if you don't know. Now you're encouraging millions of people to beat their kids' asses, dude. Who the fuck ever beat your ass? Your nanny? Your nanny if you sat too long on the gold toilet? and you were playing the PlayStation 5 in 1999, you're playing the Illuminati you're playing the Illuminati PlayStation before any of us could get it. You had access to what doing every fucking Richie Rich, right? I like that guy. He's really cool. He's really funny, and he promised me some shit, so I'm not going to trash him too hard. But let's be honest, dude. I can't leave anything off the table. I trash everybody. So it'd be corny of me if I didn't trash him. But my friend Chris Clark, if you guys aren't following Chris Clark, what's his name? Chris Clark, like 615 or something. Follow him if you're not following him, dude. Hilarious. One of my favorite comedians in the world. He said that he thinks that DTJ does all the hunting and shit because he has to basically compensate for having a cushed life. So he has to go out there and like kill animals and shit like that. And I kind of agree with it. You know, I would never say this to DTJ's face. And like I said, I hope to God DTJ never listens to this podcast and hears me trashing him right now. But which, you know, I highly doubt he will. That guy's got other shit going on. But but whatever. Yeah, dude. And it kind of made sense. Chris was breaking it down. He said, yeah, I think he has to like kill animals and do all this shit to kind of feel assertive and feel alpha because he has such a cushed life. And it made such sense. It made absolute sense to me. I mean, I never got into like hunting and shit like that. And I grew up around people hunting and shit like that. It just was never my thing. And I got nothing against it, dude. Like most of those people are really nice and usually they're pretty good guys. You know, if somebody's a weirdo, they're going to go kill people. If people are hunting, like usually they eat the animals and shit like that. But it's just not my thing, dude. I'm a pussy. I'm a pussy as far as that. Like I could never like shoot a fucking deer. Like I've no desire to kill animals. I've no desire to kill animals. I think about, you know, if somebody walked in my door, like I would shoot them, no remorse. I wouldn't think about it twice. But I would never, I don't know. I just don't have that desire to kill animals, but you know, to each their own, bro. It's all good. Just gotta stop, hating on people. Like, I'm not trying to hate on DTJ, but you shat in gold toilets, bro. Calm down. Nobody ever beat your ass. Like, imagine Donald Trump walking into DTJ's room and just whooping him with a belt. It never happened. It never happened. If anything, you know, hot ass Melania walked in there and oh man. You get on the subject of hating people, dude. You got to stop hating people. You got to let hate out of your heart, man, because hate is just such a bad emotion, bro. You literally get whatever you put out in the universe. And when you hate people, like if somebody does you wrong, you should kind of thank them because they just made you stronger. They put you in a position to where everybody that you meet in your life, good or bad, they play a part. They're the stepping stone. Not even a stepping stone. This is a fucked up word. They're a piece of what makes you in the end. So whoever you're supposed to be at the end of it, everybody that you meet was a part of it. So if somebody did you wrong, if somebody did anything to hurt you in any way, you should look at it like, yeah, you were just a piece of the puzzle to make me who I'm supposed to be. And some people rise up to the occasion and they upgrade and they do their thing. And then other people, they drink themselves to death and they think, I've talked about this on plenty of episodes. A lot of guys, when they get broken up with, they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to be as miserable as I can possibly be. And then she's going to feel bad. No, dude, you're just going to reaffirm her thinking that, oh, it was a good idea to dump this guy because he's a fucking bum. It's the same way, like if you're a guy, think about it. If you do that, if you go start doing drugs, if you start ruining your life to hurt a woman, no, it doesn't work that way. It's the same way if a woman goes out and sluts out to try to hurt you, just go, oh, thank God I dumped that whore. Like if a chick classes up, right? So if your girlfriend was cheating on you, doing a bunch of ratchet shit, has her titties hanging out in bars all the time, and then you break up with her, and then she goes and fucks a bunch of guys, you're going to be like, okay, well, thank God I got rid of her. Like, I saw the red flags early enough. But then if she classes up, if she starts acting classy, it's going to hurt. So if you're a dude and a girl breaks up with you, if you start doing a ratchet shit and start throwing your life down the drain, it's just going to be a confirmation for her that she made the right decision. You know what I'm saying? just gonna be the right decision for, and it might be hard for you to catch that while you're in the moment, because while you're in the moment, like when we act like the more emotional we act, the dumber we get. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to see that in other people, because I'm about to drop a gem on you here. Listen, the only way we ever recognize what's wrong with ourselves is if we see it in other people. Does that make sense? Like, because we don't really sit there and self-analyze ourselves, but if we see somebody else doing some dumb shit, we go, okay, that's fucking stupid. So if you see your boy getting broken up with by some girl and he starts going down a rabbit hole, or not a rabbit hole, a fucking spiral, you're gonna be like, oh, dude, that's really fucking dumb. And so if you think of yourself that way, if you look at yourself from the outside and you realize, okay, the thing I'm doing is really stupid, if you see it in somebody else, it'll make you reflect on it. And that's why you should always assess your friends, because we are the people that we surround ourselves with. I'm not going to lie. Like the last couple of girls I've, parted ways with have been because I just don't like their friends. And that's a valuable lesson I learned, where if you don't like somebody's friends, they're probably the same way. So if you look at your friends, whatever your friends are doing, they're influencing your life, whether you know it or not. And so if you see something in them that you don't like, you can change it in yourself, dude. Somebody like dresses stupid, you have no control over that. Speaking of dressing stupid, like this is one thing they always say, don't judge a book by its cover. I completely disagree. We all wear a costume when we go out into the world. You should judge a person by what they look like. Like, if somebody's really attractive, if somebody's really in shape, if somebody's very fucking handsome or very beautiful, just like a super hot person, I'm pretty sure they're okay, because, or unless they're super vain, feel that one out. But for the most part, that means they care. It means they're aware. It takes effort to be super hot. So if somebody puts that much effort into themselves, unless they don't care about anything else besides their appearance, it means they care about life. They care about longevity. They care about health. And that says a lot about them. If I don't like fat people, I don't hang out with fat people. If somebody's like morbidly obese, like having some pounds on you is one thing, but if somebody, like I said, is just a fucking whale, I want nothing to do with them, because it's like, what are you going to bring into my life? If I come into somebody's life, like, you should always want to bring something to the table, right? This is where people get it fucked up. They say, oh, what can I get out of this? What can I get out of that? You should always, like when you enter a relationship, a friendship, anything like that, your main objective is, what can I bring to the table? And whatever I bring to the table will come back to me. But if somebody's just a fat piece of shit, what the fuck are they going to bring to your table? Have you ever had a good boss that was just obese? No. If they don't care about that they're going to die, how the fuck are they going to care about anything else? I don't like fat people. They'll go fat shaming. Nah, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. Yeah, dude, I profile fat people. But I'm not talking about, it's one thing to be like, a lot of funny people are overweight. And a lot of people, I have the underweight gene. It's hard for me to put on weight. So I know there's people out there where they have a hard time losing weight. I'm talking about obese. I'm talking about when you cross like the 300-pound threshold, when you can't fit on an airplane. Like, what the fuck am I going to hang out with you for if you can't fit on an airplane? Like, what do we have in common, dude? Yeah, it's profiling. Profiling is a weird thing, because you hear a lot of, black people always complain about being profiled when they go into, like, a 17-year-old black guy wearing with his jeans falling off of his ass and wearing a mask, walking into the Gucci store, complains about being profiled. Like, what the fuck do you think happens to me when I walk down MLK, dude? I can't go to Columbia. I can't go to Compton. I can't go to these places. As a white guy, I will get profiled and fucking robbed. So if you're not from some neighborhood, if you go there, yeah, people are going to look at you weird until they know who you are. I saw a video the other day of some kid doing burnouts in a rich neighborhood. And then some like old white person ran up and I'm like, and he was like, who the fuck are you? And then of course they posted the video and there was this outrage about it. It's like, dude, what do you expect? I don't know, bro. What else do we got here? How long have we been podcasting? We've been podcasting for 20 minutes. 20 minutos. Do you like the podcast for 20 minutos? I'm about to do something on camera I don't ever do. I found this vape in my... I found an old vape that I bought when I was working this like dumbass finance job when I first got down here. I was working this dumbass finance job, and I would like I'd spend half the day. I would just like walk out of the building. I have to go walk around the building because I can't just sit at a desk, dude. I can't do it. I can't just sit at a desk and do what I'm told. I can't do it. But I bought this vape, and I found it in my like night bag the other day. It was weird, so I just hit it. Now I'm addicted to nicotine again, bro. Thank God. I remember I had this trainer at that old job. And he was like, I remember, dude, trainers are weird. Like this guy was cool, but he was fucking weird. I feel like all trainers and teachers, or a lot of them kind of have this weird attention syndrome. Like a lot of them are failed comedians and failed actors. Like they need some sort of attention. So then they go into an environment where people are forced to listen to them. So if somebody tries to be a comedian and they're not funny at all, nobody ever laughs at them, or they try to be an actor and never get a position. Like they're obviously good at speaking at that point. They're good at relaying a message more than the average person, but they're not talented enough to be entertaining. And so then they enter the field of teaching or being a trainer. Like I remember when I was in audio school, I had this one teacher, and this was before I knew who Bill Burr was. And I thought this guy was really funny. This trainer, I thought this trainer was really funny in audio school. I can't remember. He taught some class about mixing. I can't remember. And I remember one time he was telling this story. He was talking about checkout stands. He's talking about like, oh, well, I'm shopping. I don't want to check my own stuff out. And he's telling a story about Subway. And I was just howling in class like, oh my God, this guy's hilarious. Then like a year later, I found out who Bill Burr was. So this was back in like 2010, 2010's when I had the class. In like 2011, I found out who Bill Burr was. And then I watched his special. And I realized this guy standing in front of the class was just telling Bill Burr jokes. And I was pissed. I was really pissed. But then when I was working this most recent job, I had this trainer, and he was trying to like push his political agenda. He was one of those people, he was like very scattered. Like you could tell he ended up getting fired. He ended up getting fired like as soon as our class was done. He ended up getting fired because he was trying to like creep on some girls or something like that. But he was weird. I remember he said like, I am so left. I am more left than Gandhi. And I was just sitting there, keep my mouth shut. Like, how are you more left than Gandhi? So he was from Colorado, but he was down training in Texas, and he would always shit on Texas, right? And I remember then he was talking about how like, I just don't think, after he said I'm more left than Gandhi, he's like, I don't think borders are just the most inhumane thing. And then like 2 days later, we're talking about people moving to Colorado. He's like, stop coming to Colorado. Colorado is full. And then I said like, hey, I thought you don't believe in borders. And he kind of gave me a dumb look. I wanted to tell him when he initially was telling like, oh, borders are inhumane. I want to be like, oh, so if I get up and go sit at your desk, how would you feel about that? But I didn't say it. Then they brought this other trainer in, this old guy, this old like sales trainer, who was teaching us how to rip people off, and he made himself cry, dude. Yeah, he made himself cry in front of the class. Like, dude, go be an actor. You're not supposed to be here. He was like imitating a customer or something like that. And he made himself cry in front of the class. Like, do you do this every class? Do you prepare on that? Like, are you sitting in your car that morning? Are you sitting in your car that morning just like, oh, today's going to be the day that I cry in front of the class? Go fuck yourself, dude. Excuse me. What are we at? 24 minutes? All right, let's call it a wrap. Let's call it a wrap. If I haven't said it yet, please rate and subscribe to the podcast. Well, please rate. Please go buy my book, The Petty Principles, Volume 1. Please leave a review on that. And I think that's all I'm going to do for now, dude. I think that's all I'm going to plug for now. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for rocking with me. If you've been here from the start, much respect. Let's keep growing. Please tell one person. Post this to your story. Repost it. Tag me. I will repost it. And you motherfuckers take care of yourself. I love you so much. I really do. Thank you for being here. And deuces. Enjoy the music. I think I'm going to play my music. So this is me. Bye.